So today we're also learning in Eschus Refuah Shlema, Yaron ben Doris, Yehudis bas Noach, Ariel Ora Batana, Rachel bas Brindel, David Shlomo ben Sandra. And today we're going to learn BeEzrat HaShem, Kitzur Shulchan Aruch. Okay, so we continue today with Kitzur Shulchan Aruch, and we're on chapter Siman 75. And our topic is big topic. We spend I don't know how many classes, quite a few, right, on the laws of lighting the Shabbos candles, and we learn a lot only on this topic of the Shabbos candles. Okay, so we at the very end of this Siman. BeEzrat HaShem, maybe we're going to finish, maybe not. We'll see. And it says. Okay, so it says the custom is that even several women light the Shabbos candles in one house. There is even in the same room, and each one recite the blessing upon the candles, because commiserate with increase of the light is the increase of happiness. However, they should be careful that the two women not light in the same lamp. In a present situation, leniency may be granted to allow this as well. Okay, so let's try to understand what it's saying. So I would say it is very practical. And when people get together, for example, Shabbaton of several families, they get together in somebody's house. So every housewife, right, she has to light the candles. So of course we give priority to the hostess of the house, but then everybody would have to light, and the whole family should stay next to her and answer Amen. And they should not be they should be respectful and give everybody a chance, and so everybody have a chance to answer Amen. It's especially on Shabbos, as we learn. Where did we learn it? Maybe it was in. I'm just guessing, in a section of Shema. We said there is the laws that David HaMelech instituted, that we have to say 100 blessings every day. For men, there is no problem. For women, it's problematic, but it does not apply to women, basically. Right? But for men, there is no problem. But on Shabbos, it is a problem. So if we can say, so we're missing I don't know, 5 or 6 or 7 extra blessings. So these extra blessings, if you can answer somebody Amen, would be just amazing. Okay. So I mean, in the present circumstances, we can count somebody else's blessing and we answer Amen. Okay. So from the beginning and commentary, I'm going to explain. The custom is that even the several women light the Shabbos candles in one house, even in the same room. So meaning, maybe a practical example, a girl, right? So she got married, and now she comes back to her mother's house with her new husband, right? Before that, she was covered by the mother's candle lighting, but now she has her separate family. And before, she was covered by her father's kiddush, right? So now, according to, at least to Ashkenazi custom, her husband should make his own kiddush, right? Of course, we give respect and precedence to the man of the house, her father, but then her husband takes charge, right? He makes kiddush, right? After, of course, they drink like normally. And then somebody else says. So same with candle lightings. Okay, so there is no problem there is no problem and there is no disrespect to light your own candles. Okay, so but always be polite and ask, and maybe ask in advance, where can I light my candles? And some people bring their own candles, these tea lights, right? And put it in, ask where can I put it, and that's it. Whatever they tell you to put, you put. That's it. Okay. But there is no problem. Right. Again, The custom is that even the several women light the Shabbos candles in one house. There is even in the same room, and each one recite the blessing upon her candles, right? So, and everybody listens and say amen. Because commensurate with the increase of light and increase of happiness, right? So we said that we light the candles because of in honor of Shabbos and for Shalom Bayis. Two reasons, just to remind us quickly, right? For honor of Shabbos, meaning the more lights, the better, right? Especially in olden days when they did not have electricity, for sure. And for Shalom Bayis, right? It's when you see where to go. For example, we said today, maybe we're not going to light the candles in other places in the house, right? But we light electric lights, leave it in a closet or whatever we need, in the room, in the hallway, in the restroom, whatever we need the lights. So those are going to be for Shalom Bayis. But in olden days, they would light these candles everywhere, right? In the house, in the hallways, everywhere. Okay. Right. So commentaries say 41. There is also although the house would still be properly lit without the candles of each woman, right? Each of the women. Each may still light and recite the blessing, since each candle adds a level of happiness for the Friday night meal, right? As and the same explanation we gave about our lights, right? Our candles, right? Even it's like when a person lights in the house, they have like a fixture, like a chandelier with 600 watts, I think, watts, or 500 watts, a lot of watts, a lot. So like a few tiny candles, of course, they do not add the light, for sure. We understand that, but the beauty for sure they add, for sure, right? So that's what it says that since all of them added like more beauty to to Friday, to more beauty, happiness. So there's no problem. It's for constructive purpose, and you can say the blessing. But as we said before, it's very important to read something Tehillim or something like say blessing, but read from inside, so you derive some benefit, because it is nice that you have more lights, but to say that you derive any benefit from this light, not according to all of the opinions. So we try to derive some benefit, but again, according to other opinion, if it's in your dining room area, there is no problem. Okay, continue. However, they should be careful that the two women not light in the same lamp. So two women should not light the light in the same lamp, because it's not going to be so obvious, right? When they say lamp, there is like a Shabbos lamps, and we said there are like five. The different ones. There is a five candlesticks and on one stick. So let's say one lights two and another lights two. So it's not so obvious, right? But again, if there is no problem, they can light. Okay, so that's it. So let's do the next halacha. It's very long. Okay, Baruch Hashem. Number 11. One may not place water, even while still daytime on Shabbos, into the hole of the lamp, into which the candle made of fat or wax is inserted, in order that when the flame reaches the water, it will be extinguished. In the case of necessity, one may be lenient. If the water is placed there while still daytime, okay. However, to set a container of water under the hanging lamp, so that if the sparks fall, they will be extinguished, is absolutely forbidden. Even if he were to set it there while it's still daytime. To set a container without water to catch the sparks is permitted, even if he were to place it after the nightfall, because the sparks have no substance. However, however, to set a container underneath lamp so that the oil or tallow will drip into it is forbidden after dark, that is after Shabbos begins, because it does drip into the container. The container will become forbidden to be moved. It thus results that he renders the container unusable for any other use, as now it may not be moved, and this is forbidden on Shabbos, because it is as if he had attached the container to that place. However, to place the container underneath it while it is still daytime, permitted. If oil does drip into it, it is forbidden to make use of the oil on Shabbos, and the container may not be moved for the rest of the Shabbos if the oil drips into it. The container does not become forbidden to move through merely designated it to catch oil. Okay, so most likely it does not apply to us, but let's see. So in olden days, as we understand, many candles were homemade, with not professional. So today the candles, like if you buy the good quality candles, they're going to burn only tiny wick is going to remain. Maybe yes, maybe no. Understand that is such a great quality, but in olden times it was not like that, and I think they would make the candle from animal fat, also from animal fat, from this halef. Halef is internal fat that is forbidden to eat. Okay, but you can use it, right? That's one of the usages. I'm not sure. I don't think it smells good, but okay, what can I do? Okay, so let's do from the beginning, and the main topic is how not to create muktzah, right? Muktzah is something that is forbidden to use on Shabbos. Okay, so let's do from the beginning. There are many commentaries, and try to understand. So again, how is it applicable to us? I don't know. Today it's very, very recommended. Very, 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 very recommended to buy yourself a tray. Metal tray, they sell glass trays, whatever tray you buy, but make sure that there's some borders. Don't buy like flat. I saw in Judaica they sell like a flat glass tray. I'm not sure what I mean. If it just drips from the candles, yeah, there is no problem. But sometimes, guess what? Sometimes the candle falls. Things happen. Sometimes if you have the oil cups, right? They break, even though they special glass and everything is special, but they break from time to time. We had this few times, more than a few times when it exploded on Shabbos. But Baruch Hashem, we have a bigger tray, right? The big tray, and it fall these pieces fell on Shabbos, on a tray. But if a person would not, if they fall on your tablecloth, can catch a fire. So what are you going to do? Right? We're not allowed to extinguish the fire. Okay, so it's actually one of the concerns is here. Right? So I said how is it practical? It is practical. Right? Not to create fire, not to put yourself in the situation of danger. Okay. And in olden days, so today, I think one more distinction. So today, all of the candles, we don't use for light. I mean, we use for beauty, but for light we don't use. So meaning we would put them on a table, on Shabbos table, all on the countertops, next to the table. So they're then not for illumination, but for beauty, from decoration. But in olden days, they would put some candles, not Shabbos candles, but other candles. They would put it on the wall, right? So like a hanger. So I have behind me, also from olden days. It's not from olden days, but they had the same. They will put it on the wall, right, in a glass glass thing, right, and they would light the candles sometimes without this glass, right, just regular candles. So the people were afraid that the tallow, this wax is going to drip from the candles, and if candles are low quality, even sparks can fly from them. Okay, I'm not sure how the sparks would fly. I don't know, maybe air pockets. I don't know. Okay, but let's do it again, and then we see. So that's a little introduction to what it says here, like in our modern application, how it applies to us. Okay, so 11 from the beginning. One may not place water, even while still day on Shabbos, right, into the hole of the lamp into which the candle made of wax or of fat or the wax is inserted. So what does it mean? You have a container, right? So a second. Can you see? You see the container behind me. So if you have this container, so if you put the water, a little water there, so meaning the way I understand it, a person is trying to save the water, to save not the water, to save the candle. So meaning after the candle comes to this certain level, it's going to automatically extinguish. So meaning that you cannot prepare this water on like even before Shabbos because you're planning to extinguish. Okay. Okay, so one more time. One may not place water, even while it's still daytime on Friday, right, into the hole of the lamp, right, into which the candle is made of fat or wax inserted, exactly as we showed. In order that the flame reaches the water, will be extinguished. Okay, so let's see. I mean, exactly as we explained. So, person. Why he wants to extend, maybe to save the light. Like today we have timers, right? We have electric timers, so you can program your timers, and just if somebody that does not know that they sell these timers that you can insert into the wall, right? We have those. I think it's those are very convenient, right? You program this timer, and it's going to turn on, turn off, or whatever you need, right? And for some like external devices, right? You can do like timer, like external. You put it in your outlet, and then connect your plug into that timer. So whatever you do, I mean, right? So they trying to emulate something like this, but with water, right? So which is very direct, and there is fire, and here with electricity, so it's not exactly the same. Very close, but not the same. Okay, so again, commentary. The reason for this prohibition is explained in note 44. We're going to get to it, right? It's 42. One may, however, insert candle into the sand before Shabbos, so that the flame will safely go out on its own. Mishnah Berurah 265:18. So water is not allowed. Water is too obvious, but sand is there is no problem. Right, so you can put it in a sand. How is going to help? I mean, the candle is a candle. Like if you stick the candle in a sand, and it's when it's going to burn. I don't know if the sand, in my mind, if it's very dry and it's like right, all surrounded the candles, and then it's going to collapse when this candle burned out. So that's the way I see it. Or when it's going to burn to the end, so like it's going to get extinguished safely. Okay, no problem. Continue. So what I'm trying to say, this sand is not going to extinguish the candle early, like in the case of the water. In case of necessity, one may be lenient if the water is placed there while it's still daytime. Commentary. However, one should place the water inside of the hole before lighting the wick. Right. So, right. Mishnah Berurah 265:18. So, in case of necessity, for whatever reason, they're afraid that of the fire, and they would put right. So, lenient lenient opinion that you can put water anyway, right? But put it before you light in the candles. Okay, no problem. And of course before Shabbos. And it's very interesting. So I heard from many people, not from some people. What did I hear? That people like women, like they're very afraid to have Shabbos candles like can continue lit when they going to bed. So I told them, buy yourself a tray, right? Even if like you can test it on a weekday, like even if the candle falls, if it's like the tray has borders, it's not going to roll out, like very unlikely, right? It's not the candlestick's not that high, and they're going to fall on the like it happened to us maybe, I don't know, a few times of the years. That's it. I don't know how many times, 3-4 times, the 5 tops. I don't think more. Understand? But of course you don't want the fire. So what they do, they put the candles, they light the Shabbos candles in a sink, in a kitchen sink. So like I said, it's a disrespect. Why would you like? Maybe better not to light if you're going to light in a kitchen sink. Okay, but they say otherwise they're afraid. Okay, no problem. So continue. In the case of necessity, one can be lenient. However, to set a container of water under the hanging lamp, so as we said, like the lamp is going to hang on a wall, so that if the sparks fall, they would be extinguished, is absolutely forbidden, right? So meaning, as I have behind me, this lamp on a wall, but we have a glass, and it's like the system that they're talking about is much simpler. It's some candlestick, tiny, like you put there like a candle, and they say the sparks can fly, basically, right? So under normal circumstances, right, everything was made of wood, as we understand in olden days, right? So they would put the bucket with water. So if something happened, it's going to fall into the water, even sparks, right? From sparks, the fire can start. Okay, right. It's absolutely forbidden, even if he's to set this while it's still daytime, right? So why is it daytime? Well, why he's saying that? So we're going to remind ourselves there is a concept of muktzah. We didn't learn it like from the beginning to the end, but we mention in different classes over and over again this concept. Meaning muktzah, I think we spoke about it on Wednesday, on our Wednesday class last week we said, right? So muktzah is something that was set aside for right before Shabbos starts, because there is no practical usage for this item, right? And meaning the whole Beit HaShem from the sunset until the nightfall, was no practical use for this thing. For example, the best example may be cell phone, right? So meaning it is muktzah. So basically you cannot move it, you cannot do anything. Or a person wallet, right, with money, with credit cards, with ID, right? For sure, it is a muktzah, right? So same thing is here. So they say this bucket of water is going to be muktzah, right? Even if you put the water, he's saying, before the nightfall, it's still going to be muktzah, because why? Because right, because from the time of the sunset until the nightfall, it was there, and for no other purpose, right, as catching the flame, catching the sparks. Okay, so commentary. It is forbidden to extinguish the flame on Shabbos. So actively, right? It is extinguished to actively, and our putting under the thing water is for sure actively extinguished. I mean, it's not actively, but it's still extinguishing. So as we said, there is a leniency in case of putting water in the candle holders. Why is that? Why is that? I mean, because it's grammar. It's not direct. It's indirect. Same reason why we're allowed to use timers, right? At least for lights. Okay. Right. So on Shabbos, it's forbidden to extinguish. It is forbidden to Shlem. Shabbos, this considered milacha of mechaber. Mechaber is extinguishing. Okay. Although it is generally permitted to perform action on Friday that causes milacha occur on Friday or on Shabbos. For example, setting trap before Shabbos that will catch animal on Shabbos. Let's see Shulchan Aruch 252.1. The sages forbade setting a separate container with water to extinguish the spark that may fly on Shabbos. They were concerned that the people may think that the reason it is permitted is that one is not directly extinguishing the fire, and they may set up the water on Shabbos as well. When doing this on Shabbos, one might lift the container to the sparks themselves, and that directly extinguish the flame which is prohibited. Mishnah Berurah 265:15. Let's try to understand. Of course, this thing is not related to us. I hope in most of the situations, but still we need to know the logic, the whole logic why our sages say. Because if you think about it, like in their water to put in a candle, in this lamp with a candle, we said it is like there is lenient opinion, but in case of the great need, you can pour some water. Meaning when the candle is going to burn up to this level, it's going to get extinguished, so indirectly. But here to set up the bucket, like a bucket or what should we call this container, this basin or something, right? A basin with water is not allowed. So like, what is what is the rationale? And they explain very interestingly, right? On one hand, there is no problem do something before Shabbos, that do something before Shabbos, and the action is going to continue on Shabbos. So meaning technically you can set up your sprinkle system, right, before Shabbos, so it would go on Shabbos, or you're allowed to set up your timer in the dining room, so it go off like after you finish meal, let's say at 11 p.m. let's say, and then for your lunch like 11:30 or something, like next day it's going to go on, or air conditioner or something, right? If you're not there like the whole most of the day on Shabbos, so why would you have your air conditioner on? So some people leave it, there is no problem, but some people want to shut that off. There is no problem. So, and as we say, if you prepare everything before Shabbos, right, and it takes and the work is done on Shabbos, there is no problem. The classic example that he brings from a trap, so you can set up nets, right, fish nets, before Shabbos on Friday, let's say even closer to the evening, and then the Motzei Shabbos, like after that, you can take out the nets. Most likely it's going to be on Sunday morning, but there is no problem. So like you understand that most of the fish was caught on Shabbos, but you did not benefit. You understand? So you did not benefit. So you can use it. So the question is, going back to our question: what is the problem with container that is set under the lamp? So in case of this, like, right, in the case of accident, so like the sparks are going to fall into the water. It's very interesting. So he explains. So the sages were concerned that a person would think, if it is allowed to set this basin before Shabbos, like what is the difference? It's only water. So basin is not muktzah, and water is not muktzah. So maybe I can pour water into this basin and put it, or bucket, whatever is it, right, and put it under the candles, the candle lamp, and maybe even not only under the candles, but I'm going to lift it next to, if I see the spark flying, lift it next to the candles, and in this case I would be acting like deliberately and extinguishing some sense. I would be like instrument of this melacha. That's why sages forbid it, right? So it's very interesting. As we said many times in the past, so our sages did not rely on simple people to learn all of the intricate details about all the halacha and know that the difference, why in this case we do like this, in that case we do different. So in many times they just simplify halacha and take universal approach, even though we know, like Rabbi would know, or I mean, in this class we always give all of these other solutions, like in case of the great need. So right, there is a since it was instituted by the sages under circumstances, they allow us to go around this. Like if there is no other way or something. Okay, so that's the reason about this container. Very interesting. So continue. So let me just read some to make sure that we said exactly what is the idea here. They were concerned that the people might think that the reason it is permitted, meaning to pour the water before Shabbos, is that one is not directly extinguished the fire, and they may set up the water on Shabbos as well. Right? Again, we said there is no muktzah. When doing this on Shabbos, one might leave the container and the sparks themselves, right, to the sparks themselves, and they directly extinguish the flame, right, which is prohibited. All right, so we understood correctly. So continue with same commentary. When the water is not in a separate container, but in the same container as the flame, such in a case how it's if is open, right? We said right, he pours some water, so when the candles burns to the certain level, it's going to get extinguished. So here he said he's different because it's in the same container. Such in the case of how we started this eve, where the water is under the candle. Okay, it is permitted by some authorities to put the water before Shabbos, as one will not come to do this on Shabbos, right? For perforce the candles is already lit, and one may not move it, or even to place the water under it. Okay, Kitzur rules that if it is not the case of necessity, one should follow the authorities who rule stringently in this matter. Okay, so let's try to understand what it says in this commentary. So we try and understand. So in this case, in the case of the basin, or the bucket under the candle, there is a candlestick on the wall, forbidden. Okay, and we explain why. Because per person might lift it up next to the candles, so not to miss any sparks, and it would be prohibited for sure. So now we say why is it according to, even though first Kitzur said it's not allowed to pour water, right, into this lamp, but then he said in case of necessity we can. So right, so now he did the explanation. When the water is not in separate container but in the same container, as we just explained, same lamp, as a flame, such in case with a sieve opens where the water under the candle, right, it is permitted by some authorities to put the water before Shabbos. So for sure before Shabbos we're not going to extinguish and nothing going to happen, as one will not come to do this on Shabbos. So right, so in the first case with this basin, so we're afraid that people would see that it is allowed, it's exactly the same thing. I'm not doing anything forbidden, right, before Shabbos, so maybe on Shabbos it's allowed. But here, you're not going to pour because you have to move the candles and put the water there. So this, nobody needs explanation because it's obvious nobody is going to do it. That's why it's safer, right? Right, for perforce the candles is already lit, meaning on Shabbos, and one may not move it to place water under it. So very, very simple, very simple. So after the beginning of Shabbos, nobody is going to do anything to the lit candle. Kitzur rules that if it is not case of necessity, right, one should follow the authorities who rule stringently this manner, meaning even before Shabbos, don't pour the water. So on Shabbos, for sure not. So next explanation. In the present situation, if candle is in danger of falling, and there is a concern that the fire may spread, one may place a child under the age of bar mitzvah or bas mitzvah to place a container of water underneath it, even on Shabbos. See Mishnah Brura 265:16. If it is not possible to have a minor or an idolater to do this, and there is any concern that life may be in danger, one may place a container under the lamp himself, or to move candle in a safe location if necessary. Okay, so now I think it's very, very practical and applies to us as well. This commentary. So when, as we know, we're not allowed to put off fire on Shabbos directly, but indirectly, yes, we're allowed. So there is one explanation: these timers. Right. So now what a person sees that the candle is leaning to one side, it's about to fall. So it's going to fall, and people have this wooden floor, they have a carpet. Right, it's going the Chas v'Shalom, the house would be in fire in 3.5 minutes. The whole fire, the whole house. Okay, and you're not allowed to put it off. So what we're allowed to do, like pour water around. Right, so around, so meaning the flame would going to come to this area and it's going to extinguish by itself. Or our sages offering us solution today. We have like these plastic buckets, right, or plastic containers, whatever container, doesn't matter, plastic. So meaning that if you put the whole bucket of water, right, so you next to the flame, and it's the flame is going to burn, right, the bucket is going to burst and extinguish the flame, there is no problem. But to pour it like directly from the bucket on the flame, there is no, it's not allowed unless there is a life danger, right? For example, somebody have an elderly person that connected to the tubes to the all of the equipment. So like if there is a fire, if the fire, you must, or everybody get out. So I would say try to extinguish, as we said, like put something around, right? Even like wet towels. If you put a lot of like, you cannot wring the towel, as we learned last Wednesday, but you can soak it very much, right? Hold it like by 2 fingers, so you're not wring it, and then you can put this very wet towel around the place of burn. So meaning that when the flame is going to get to the towel, is going to extinguish BeEzrat HaShem by itself, right? Or this bucket, when the flame is going to like burn through the bucket, right? Plastic bucket is going to like burst and have all of this water there. Okay, but if you're not afraid, if you're afraid, not sure, so just make sure that you leave, and we're not allowed to even say to a non-Jew, right? To call like fire department. So you can tell them, wow, there is a fire in our house. So they say, did you ask? Did you call? No, I cannot. It's Shabbos. Do you want me to call? I mean, right? They ask you. I'm just telling the conversation. They say, right, it is a fire. I mean, like it's blazing. So should I call? I mean, right, it's a fire there, right? So whoever is going to call is not going to lose. Whoever is going to help, right, to save is not going to lose. That's it. And let them figure out what you mean, and then go fire department, they get extinguished. But we cannot give them direct instructions. Okay, so you see, it started first when I was reading, like it was not practical, but now it's it's very practical, applies to us. So again, the situation is in this small commentary that we are afraid that the candle might fall. Right. So the candles that we bought, the last candles, they burn the best, but you have to like fit them into the candle holders. Like they're little different standard, and on the bottom it's a little thicker, whatever, because of the process, whatever. So I have to take a knife and fit it a little, like scrape a little the wax. In a sense, so but if a person does not, so technically, can you put it? Yeah, you can put it, but it's not tight. It can fall off. So it's very, very important, like to make sure that it's fit well. But in olden days, as we said, like today, everything is precise, like made by machinery. But in olden days, it was like handmade. So for sure, this candle can fall, right? The person is afraid. Okay, so again, in the present situation, if candle is in danger of falling, right? And there is a concern that the fire may spread. So I mean, I think it's always, unless you have like floors, right? And there is like even base is a tile or something, like I don't know, some like no problem. So it's going to fall on a tile. The worst is going to do like maybe blacken the tile, but that's it. There is no problem. Right, but if you have like wooden floor or a carpet, for sure it's dangerous. Right. So concern might spread the fire. One may have a child under the age of bar mitzvah. So under the age of bar mitzvah, even though they're adults, like they grown up, but they still not obligated yet to perform the mitzvah. So we can ask them, right, to place a container of water underneath it on Shabbos. So meaning this basin, as we were speaking before, or the bucket. Okay, so meaning that because it's a clear danger. In the first case, when we said not, it was not danger. It was like a precaution. If it is not possible to have a minor or idolaters to do so, so if you can have one of the children do it, right? Maybe ask neighbors' children to do it, right? Or you can ask non-Jew, right, to do that. To do this, and if there is any concern that life may be endangered, right? So you have a baby, so like you cannot evacuate them for whatever reason. One may place the container under the lamp himself, or to move candle in a safe location if necessary. So move the candle in a safe location. So candle is what is a muktzah, right? And a candle holder is a bosses, like a base of the muktzah. But again, we have to remind ourselves. So this is rabbinic, and in case of the great need, great danger, yes, we can move it maybe in some indirect way, but you can move it. Okay. Okay, so it was 44. So we continue. To set a container without water to catch sparks is permitted, even if there is where in place where after the nightfall, right? So meaning that if you have like a metal basin or something, right? So meaning if even the sparks fell, and even if or bucket or something, metal bucket, right? So some fell inside, nothing going to happen, no problem. So you can do it because is bucket muktzah. Big pots are muktzah. Just so you know, big pots, the cooking pots, they are muktzah, right? But the buckets and basins maybe not. Okay. So commentary is saying, right? So you can do it even after nightfall. Since there is no water in a container, he's not causing the sparks to become extinguished by leaving the container there. So meaning that the sparks are going to fall into a container and they're going to stay there. If they're going to extinguish because of the contact, because of the heat at the bottom, there is no problem. It's not guaranteed that it's going to get extinguished. Like if they're going to fall in the water, for sure they're going to get extinguished. Okay, so that's why empty container, no problem. Okay, so again the whole sentence: since there is no water in a container, he's not causing the sparks to become extinguished by leaving the container there. He's simply protecting the surface underneath the container so that it does not catch fire. No problem. So protection, there is no problem, and it's not muktzah. Kitzur writes that the sparks have no substance. To differentiate between this case, where the sparks, which have no substance, and do not render utensils into which they fall muktzah, forbidden to move on Shabbos, and the following case, where the utensils is rendered muktzah and forbidden to be moved. and is thus forbidden to place the container on Shabbos underneath the lamp to catch oil or candle drippings, as we will explain. So let's try to. I apologize. I think we're going over time. I apologize, but let's try to finish it. It's a little longer. Okay, so it's a little longer than usual, but let's try to finish. Okay, so again, what is right? So he said, and Kitzur is very, very precise. He said you can do it, right? Because these sparks have no substance. Meaning, if something that is muktzah is going to fall into this container is not going to become muktzah. I mean, like container is not going to become a basis for the muktzah. I don't think so. But for sure, but for sure, since sparks have no substance, there is no problem. But if okay. So again, but they do not render utensils into which they fall muktzah, forbidden to move on Shabbos, and the following case, right, where the utensils are rendered muktzah, meaning something is forbidden to be moved, and thus forbidden to place container on Shabbos underneath the lamp to catch oil or candle dripping. I'm not sure why they say muktzah. I mean, muktzah status is even if muktzah falls into this container on Shabbos, you can always put there something like needed for Shabbos, and it's not going to be muktzah. The concept is a base for the muktzah. I mean, I don't want to go into this, but okay, just so we know. For example, if you have, what did we have? Some side table, right? Some side like a sofa table, whatever they call it, and you put your cell phone, you put your laptop on there. So this sofa table, like small table, there is nothing else, became a basis for the muktzah. So you cannot move the sofa table together with the laptop, right? But if on set of Shabbos you had underneath, like you have separate shelves, right? Levels, tiers, they call it, right? You had something very important, your book, for example, that your siddur, one of the shelves, that this table never became muktzah on Shabbos, never became bosses on Shabbos, and you can move it. Okay, so let's continue. However, if to set container underneath the lamp, so that the oil or tallow will drip into it, is forbidden after dark. So, but before dark, you see, I was a little like surprised, but yes, before dark there is no problem, but after dark there is a problem, right? Once the Shabbos begins, because it does drip into container. If it does drip into container, this oil, the container will become forbidden to move, right? And that's the problem. Of course, in the case of need, as we said, explained, I don't remember what class, but we said that you can move it with your feet. Right? With your feet, you can move it. So, commentary, number 46. And the oil that had been in a lamp is a muktzah, even after it drips out of the lamp. Okay. So, it was a muktzah in the lamp and out of the lamp. When the oil falls into a container, it is forbidden to move that container as well. Siman 265.6. On the other hand, the sparks which have no substance do not cause the container into which they fall become muktzah. Okay. So sparks, no substance. Oil, of course, is substance. So that's huge difference. So to catch the sparks, no problem. To catch this oil is a problematic if you do it after the nightfall. And if it thus results that here renders container unusable for any other use, as now, it will not be moved, and it is forbidden on Shabbos. But if you do it before Shabbos, you just leave it there, as we said, like in case of press and need, there is no problem. Because right? Just forbidden on Shabbos, because it is as if he had attached container to that place, right? It is so forbidden to move. It's like you screw it into the floor. Okay, commentary. According to Mishnah Brura 265.5, while one may not place container to catch the oil, one will place a container underneath the candle when one is afraid that it may fall and set what is beneath or it on fire. Although the candle is muktzah, one may permissibly move it from the container by shaking it out. We're going to explain. And the container is therefore not considered to be a render muktzah. However, one would not shake out the container that contains good oil, so that not to waste it. See Mishnah Brura 265.6, who for two permissible methods of arranging for the oil from the lamp to fall into the container of Shabbos. I don't want it to overcomplicate it, but so let's try to continue, maybe finish. Okay, so it says, according to Mishnah Brura, while one is when one may not place container to catch oil, like on the floor, may place a container underneath the candle, because this candle, for sure, is in danger. That one that is leaning to one side. When one is afraid that it may fall and set what is beneath on fire. So meaning it's a clear danger, like a real danger. Although the candle is muktzah meaning we cannot move it, one may permissibly remove it from the container by shaking it out. So meaning, right, shaking it, even if it fall, you can shake the container for take it out. And same, it's practical, very practical. So for example, per person, especially for men, women is easy because they don't carry the wallets in the pockets, right? They have a pocketbook or something, right? But men, we carry wallets in the pocket, and sometimes cash and stuff like that, right? So a person, for example, he was on Friday afternoon, let's say Friday close to the evening, ready to take shower, and left the wallet on his bed, right on the bed, and went to take shower. Went to shul, comes back after the dinner. Guess what? The wallet is on the bed, so he's not allowed to move the wallet. A wallet is 100% muktzah, right? What he should do, like a shake off the wallet, take a bedspread or something, a blanket, you can take the blanket, go to wherever you need to go, and shake the wallet. So that's what he's saying here. It is also allowed because it is indirect. Okay, so you're not touching the wallet and you're not touching the candle. Okay. Continue. However, to place a container underneath it while it is still daytime is permitted. So that's right before the daytime. If oil does drip into it, it is forbidden to make the use of oil on Shabbos. I mean, who needs this oil? But okay. Right. So, but container also cannot be moved. Right, and the container may not be moved for the rest of the Shabbos, again because it became muktzah. But again, that's not a problem. We're concerned about the fire. If no oil drips into it, the container does not become forbidden to be moved. So container by itself is not muktzah. So only if some oil drips on it into it, so then it becomes muktzah. It does not become muktzah. And not forbidden to move. Through merely designated it to catch oil, right? Okay. So commentary, and we stop. Mishnah Brura 265.7 cites Ilya Rabbah, which states that if he not only designated the container to hold the oil, but also some oil has already dripped into the container before Shabbos, then the container becomes muktzah, even if the oil has poured out before Shabbos. Okay, no problem. I mean, for us, it's not very practical, but what we do for sure, like as I always say, don't think it's right. Always put big tray under the candle holders for sure. So some people like to have three or four candle holders. There is no problem. Put it on separate trays or buy one huge tray. Right. Okay. So let's take 5 minutes break, and we're going to continue with other topics after break. 5 minutes.